Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of the August X Show, produced by Them Boys Skittin'. I want to take this moment to ask you all to please like and subscribe to Them Boys Skittin' on all platforms. Them Boys Skittin', ThemBoySkittin, Them Boys Skittin', and also me, your host, August X. You can find me on all platforms at August X Show. That is AUGUSTX. SHOW. Alright, and before we get into it, I want to make a quick disclaimer. The show is entertainment only. Everything that I say is satire. It is meant to be a joke. I am not claiming to know the truth. I am not claiming to tell the truth. If you are listening, you are doing so at your own risk. If you are curious about anything I say on this show, I encourage you to look it up. There are plenty of fact checkers out there. You can find them on pretty much every single platform, and they are notoriously unbiased. They are very good at what they do, and they always tell the truth. With that being said, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Today I saw a very interesting picture, which I'm going to post right here. This is Ghislaine Maxwell apparently drawing the drawer, the official court drawing person, while staring her down. They're drawing each other. This is a power move. Which means Ghislaine Maxwell, she is not some pawn who got used. She is not some helpless lady. She is not some evil pedophile. What she is a fucking badass, dude. Legit. This is a power move. It scares me. When I look at this picture, I feel like I should not be even seeing it myself. Every time somebody knocks at my door right now, I'm terrified that it's Hillary Clinton, who I believe, because let me break down this whole Epstein fiasco anyway. Did you guys ever consider that before Ghislaine went to trial, with all of this, going back to Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, that we have been fed a huge lie? Not the mainstream lie that they're pushing right now, which is that Jeffrey Epstein is some mastermind child banger. I feel like I could have been more sensitive about that, but Jeffrey Epstein is not any of that. Actually, Jeffrey Epstein, did you ever consider that Jeffrey Epstein might be a hero? Whoa, before you come for me, get this. Jeffrey Epstein is not who you guys think he is. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was born in Newark, New Jersey, to a very poor family, and all he ever aspired to be one day was wealthy, and that led him down a very, very tragic road of meeting the wrong people, specifically Tom Hanks. I'll get more into that later. If we fast forward to 2016 when Trump became president, a lot of people don't know this, but Trump was actually installed to help the global takeover. See, what Trump did was very lazy, real quick, in exposing the fact that the American people are lied to every day. So what? A lot of you needed Trump to tell you that. A lot of boomer conservatives needed help finding that out. And when Trump said it was okay to start thinking that way, they did. Which then caused a huge rift between boomer Republicans and basically Gen Z leftists. And if you know the two of them, they couldn't be more far apart, and that explains a lot of where our culture is right now, with those two just constantly fighting. If you are a independent thinker, millennial, right now, you feel very much caught up in the middle of a like a divorce proceeding, right? You look at both sides, you go, you guys are both wrong. But if you are an independent thinker, you are the vast minority right now. So the country's burning up as these two fight each other because they make up the majority. It's basically 50-50. And the reason they did that was because there is going to be a global takeover, which the wheels have been turning on this process for a while. 2016 kicked it off. All of a sudden, after years of very shady business, we find out that they got a guy named Jeffrey Epstein. The world had no idea who this young, fine gentleman was. And then they villainized him, right? They said he's got this big evil island where he's, you know the stuff they said. I'm not even going to repeat it because poor Jeffrey Epstein, man. And Jeffrey Epstein found his wealth, the wealth that he was looking for since he was a kid. And unfortunately, Tom Hanks, again, encouraged him to have some shady business stuff go on at this island so that Jeffrey could keep his wealth. Now, Jeffrey wasn't sold what was really happening. Tom Hanks was like, hey, how about me and a couple of my buddies, like Bill Clinton, Tom Hanks and Bill Clinton, how about we all go chill on your island, dude? Be cool. And Jeffrey Epstein's like, I really just want to keep stacking up my wealth and being a very charitable man and give back to my communities and keep on working for the Israeli intelligence because because I believe in them and everything they do is good as well. Go Jews. And I'm not Jewish, by the way, but before you know it, Tom Hanks and his cronies, Tom Hanks and his goons are over there forest humping these children. Jeffrey Epstein goes, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit, and I don't want to be a part of it. And Tom Hanks and his buddies, Tom Hanks and Bill Clinton, they sat Jeffrey Epstein down and they said, hey, we got something a brewing here, okay? It's not just about what we're doing with these kids, Jeff. What we're doing is we're taking over the entire world. Because Tom Hanks has a hidden agenda where he wants to be the ruler of the entire world. He wants to conquer the world. And he's had a very careful plan. I'll talk more about that in another episode. But basically, by playing a fun, lovable character in mainstream movies was going to give him enough cover so that he could eat children. Another big name that I'll get into later, who's introduced later in this story, I'll tell you. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So they have this meeting, and Jeffrey Epstein goes, what? You want to do what with the world? You want to take it over? Absolutely not. And Jeffrey Epstein, I got this on good knowledge, he got up and he did the old, come on at me, bro, right? Because Jeffrey Epstein's kind of hip. He might have dropped the N-word, but it was with an A, not an R, but he goes, come on at me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude. And Bill Clinton stood up right then and there. This is all on video. He stood up right then and there. He slammed his fist into the ground and he said, don't you ever say that word with an A. You always finish it with an R. Him and Tom Hanks high-fived each other after that. It was disgusting just to see that racism is so alive and well in this country right now, and I thought we'd made so much progress. Anyway, Jeffrey Epstein goes, listen, man, I'm going to expose you guys. And that's basically how that story went. They all left the room. Jeffrey Epstein terrified. Bill Clinton went on to have a appetizer of small children, and Tom Hanks, it was disgusting what he did. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a quick break to thank you for listening to another episode of the August X Show produced by Them Boys Skittin'. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Them Boys Skittin' on all platforms. Them Boys Skittin', ThemBoySkittin. We do a lot of sketches on there that a lot of people like. We've gone viral many a time. So if you want to laugh, go ahead and check those sketches out. I also encourage you to follow me, your host, August X. You can find me on all platforms at August X Show. That is AUGUSTXSHOW. All right, let's get back into it. So they put Jeffrey Epstein on trial now. And they say, Jeffrey, either you go along with us or we're gonna call you a child raper. The worst thing someone could possibly be called. And also what Tom Hanks is. Jeffrey Epstein goes, F it, man. You guys want to do this? Let's go. So they put Jeffrey Epstein into trial. They're trying to scare Epstein, our hero. And Epstein will not back down. Then what happened? A lot of people think Hillary Clinton had him. It's not Hillary. It's all Bill, okay? Hillary has actually been dead for the last 20 years. She's been replaced by an AI robot named Billary. It's not very creative, but they're not creative people. So we know they removed Epstein. Now, there is one other person that I started this show off with that was involved in all this. Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's not-so-secret girlfriend. But yes, they were madly in love. They would give each other a massage, read a book, and turn off the lights. Now, it was highly romantic, but not too much different from what your parents did or your grandparents did. This was a very lovely, charitable couple, and Jeffrey was a hero. Now that Jeffrey's gone, there's one more loose end. Ghislaine, his girlfriend. Now, what you have to understand, the difference between Jeffrey and Ghislaine is that Jeffrey was a man. He was very calculated, and he was also very fair. So throughout all this trial, they said, Jeffrey, we got you on the stand now. We're going to get you. We're going to make up all these things. We've paid all these victims to lie. Will you go along with our global takeover? And Jeffrey said no. And he said, you know what, though? You guys turn this ship around. We'll drop these charges and stop trying to take over the world, and we're even. Ghislaine, she's different. She knows. She's smart. She's a woman. She knows that they're never going to turn this global thing around. So right now, what Ghislaine's going to do, she goes, you killed my lover, Jeffrey Epstein. You framed him. His reputation will never recover from this. She goes, and I know you're never going to stop trying to take over the world. She goes, but you leave me the fuck alone. And that's why she took off when her charges got brought up, right? Now she's in trial. She knows all this. And she goes, and the global elite, Tom Hanks and Bill Clinton, and another mystery character, which I will explain in a minute here, because the mystery character will blow your mind. They're going, Ghislaine, are you gonna snitch on us or are you gonna go along with it? Ghislaine says, how about this? You let me go back to living my life of luxury where I can continue to be charitable and live on in Jeffrey Epstein's hero reputation. You let me do that. And I'll go silently. All right, you guys do you, I'll do me. But right now, I'm not taking the fall. And this is what they're doing. They're playing against her. So they're saying, okay, you know what? You're going to go down. When you do, if you take the fall on this and wrap this whole pedophile thing up for us, which is something that the global elites need to happen, they're like, we'll wrap it up, we'll let you go. We'll get you out of jail, you'll go back to living a life of luxury, and probably continue to work for the Mossad. They're not going to do that. She knows that. So if she's found guilty, they're just going to kill her in jail. So right now, it's really a game of chicken between those two, Ghislaine and Tom Hanks. And there is some other warnings that have been sent by this mystery character, and I want you guys to brace yourself for this because this is somebody that America loves and that we revere, and their comedy has brought warmth to our hearts collectively. Alec Baldwin. It turns out that he plays a much bigger role in all of this, and he's trying to send Ghislaine a message. He's also very sick. When child pedophilia wasn't enough for him, he turned to murder. That's kind of the message that they're trying to send to Ghislaine. So Alec Baldwin will get off. Ghislaine Maxwell, we'll see what happens with her. Because now she's not only fighting the U.S. justice system, she's fighting Tom Hanks and Bill Clinton and Alec Baldwin. And the three of those despicable men put up one hell of a fight. But you know what? So does Ghislaine. As we can see, I'll pull the picture up one more time. Look in this woman's eyes. The drawing of this woman, look in her eyes and tell me that this isn't, tell me that she doesn't stand a chance, because I think she does. And I think she's really going to give it to these three sickos, and she's going to show them, she's going to go, you know what? The world's not about banging children, which these three apparently think it is. That's all that they think about all day is a global takeover and children. And Ghislaine goes, you know what? That's weird to me. And I don't believe in that. She believes in being charitable and Victoria's Secret. I think she had a lot to do with that. We'll pay attention to this trial as it goes through. I got a good feeling that very shortly some fireworks are going to go off. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Is there something to this? Jeffrey Epstein is before you say that that's not possible too. Real quick, before I end this, I want you to go watch Batman, I think the third one, with Harvey Dent. Well, if that doesn't prove my point, then I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's episode. Thank you again for listening. I want to ask that you subscribe to Them Boys Skittin' on all platforms. Them Boys Skittin', ThemBoySkittin. Them Boys Skittin'. You should also subscribe to me, your host, August X. You can find me on all platforms at August X Show. That's AUGUSTX. SHOW. Again, I'd like to conclude with the disclaimer that this show is only satire. It is for entertainment only. Everything that I say is pretty much a lie, and you should not take it seriously. Please, I encourage you to fact check everything. Do your own research. Thank you.